I'm George Santos, and I'm here with We Are Not Journalists.
Coming up on We Are Not Journalists.
He has to walk his stupid audience through the entire metaphor. He's like, okay,
before he starts, it's
like so this is a metaphor. I don't have time to get into metaphor, simile, analogy, and
it's about illegal immigrants.
The snake, that the snake is the immigrant.
We are going to really fight with that claim of not being able to call the right racist because, oh boy,
yeah.
Welcome to We Are Not Journalists. I'm Maximilian Clark.
And I'm Walter Masterson.
On today's show, we refresh our love for Joe Biden by visiting President Trump.
Yes, we went to the Wildwood Trump rally, so you don't have to.
And we also cracked the spine on Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation's guidebook for the apocalypse.
Yes.
But first...
What is it, Max?
They're just saying it.
Oh, they're doing the thing again?
They're doing the thing where they're just kind of saying it. Like, the Republican Party for years had been using dog whistles to avoid being called racist. But since Kristi Noem had come through town...
She shot all the dogs.
Right. And so now they just have regular whistles. And it's so loud and unpleasant. Yeah. Remember Vivek Ramaswamy?
Vivek Ramaswamy. Isn't he the guy that had the fake drug that he bought and he sold it to the public? He had a public offering.
It was a real drug. It just didn't work. And he knew it, but he got a bunch of investors on board so he could drive up this stock price.
Well, we can't prove that he knew it. All we can prove is that he sold all of his stock right before the clinical trials came out.
Yeah.
Which is what you do when you have a hit drug, right?
I believe in this drug so much. I want you to have the stock.
Yeah, when you invent the next penicillin, your first thing is, you know what? I own too many shares. Let me sell all of them right now.
Penicillin is kind of an interesting example there because he gave it away for free.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the days.
Yeah, the days where it's like, this is for the public good. And, you may not like Ramaswamy for defrauding investors. Or
wait, he's the other guy he's against diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
And he literally got a George Soros scholarship for his law school in the same year that he made $300,000 working at a hedge fund.
Well, and remind me, what was the scholarship for?
It was a diversity scholarship.
Right. And isn't it insane that Vivek Ramaswamy got George Soros money before we did?
There is no justice in this world.
Like, how are we not getting a check?
Yeah.
Like, just a thank you card.
I wish I got half of the Soros money, at least just half or a tenth of the Soros money that people think that we get.
Oh my God, we could live like kings off of that.
I mean, I also think there's got to be like some boy math involved in how much Soros money people think is out there. Mm-hmm. But I wish billionaires were that generous.
Boy math is when you de-rationalize spending money on something. Where you just take something and you keep driving the price up and up and up until you're angry and you punch drywall. Is that boy math?
Boy math is just, Elon buying Twitter for $45 billion.
Oh, I see. That's boy math.
There's no justice in this world.
Yeah. And he also, as a candidate, had a lot of like bullshit libertarian policies that I don't really agree with.
They were just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, as is all of libertarianism. Come into our comments. Come onto our show. Fight me. Yeah. And so I think there's a lot of valid reasons not to support Vivek Ramaswamy.
Well, apparently Ann Coulter thought of another reason.
Oh, yeah?
That we had never thought of.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see why Ann didn't support him. On his show.
On his show. Yes.
On his show. So Vivek Ramaswamy has a podcast now, and he invited Ann Coulter on.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember for the last 12 years, Ann Coulter has had a lot of fun being a white supremacist while also being like, who, me?
Yeah, moi.
No, I am being persecuted by the left. I'm being canceled. I'm not a white supremacist. I love people. They just don't like hard truths about blacks. So anyways, I imagine this is what we're going to get from her appearance on the show.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I, too, am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
I don't think we need to get back to that.
You probably thought I was going to stop after she said the things about American black.
No, but I had actually heard of the video. It was all I'd seen was the snippet of "I wouldn't have voted for you because you're Indian."
No, I was talking to them. Like if you were listening in real time.
Yes.
Yeah. And like poor Vivek just on his show just being like, obviously because this is a man who has claimed to have never heard anything racist out of the right of American politics.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, what? Conservatives can be racist? Sounds like a Democrat thing, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Like, it was always his response.
There is a side to me that makes me wonder, like, half the time when you hear conservatives talk about the Conservative Party and MAGA, sometimes I'm like, have you been to a Trump rally? Have you, like, been enmeshed? Do you hear what they're saying? Like, you're either being deliberately obtuse or you don't care. Or like, because I feel like Vivek was one of those people that's like, what, you know?
Well, I mean, also like, he's wealthy, right? Yeah. And I think by and large, he has encounters that are somewhat controlled, right? And like every now and then he probably runs into a person who like gives him a weird look or something. But at a Vivek support rally, you're not going to get that. He's not big enough to really be counter-protested by the right.
And the MAGA cult needs him for their culture wars.
Right.
And because he was the guy, it was the most annoying thing coming out of the MAGA camp was they can't call us racist anymore because Vivek.
Yeah. And I think that on today's episode, we are going to really fight with that claim of not being able to call the right racist because, oh boy.
Yeah.
But, as a lot of the right is embracing full-on outward, non-censored racism. You know who's sort of been going in a weird opposite direction?
Who?
The Date Right Stuff guy.
Oh, the guy on TikTok he has his app.
Yeah.
And he used to work for the Trump administration.
Yeah, who is that crazy guy? Because, usually I'm used to him peddling like stuff about trans people existing and a lot of like really logically broken sentences about like, you think that government's going to solve your problems? Try telling that to our public education system.
Yeah.
But like lately he's been like anti-cop. He's lately been putting out some videos that make me go, oh, okay. I guess we're supporting protesters and being anti-cop. Weird. Have you seen this?
Yeah. He had that one video where all of progressive TikTok was like, huh? Okay. Wait, what?
Go find it.
I'm going to find it.
It's on his page.
Maybe it wasn't a good idea to force dumb people to go to college.
No.
And just a quick reminder, Mother's Day is for moms, not for men in dress. The same people who voted. I'm just going to ask this one more time. Why did we only judge white people for owning slaves when every culture? When I was younger, my teacher told me that guns kill people.
Okay.
And I told her that my number 2 pencil was the reason for my bad grades. Why do Democrats want to hold gun manufacturers liable, but not vaccine manufacturers? All the people that are yelling at me about eating meat that's pumped with hormones don't seem to care about children being pumped with hormones.
No.
If our government can fund 2 wars simultaneously, then they're taxing us way too much. If our government never asks a woman her age, a man his salary, or Congress where the $700 billion in COVID stimulus went. So I always keep this fake Hollywood money in my car, so when a homeless person asks for money, then I give them like a fake $5 bill, so I feel good about myself, they feel good, and then when they go to use it, they get arrested, so I'm actually like helping clean up the community.
Okay, yeah.
So if you take down and... This is a serious question. Maybe we'll get lucky. The reason the government would want to take your guns...
All right, no. Stop. Okay, somewhere back there, he was just like, we got to stand up for the protesters.
What?
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, wait.
Remember when there was that active shooter in Uvalde and the Texas police stood around and did nothing while kids were being murdered? I wish somebody had told them that the shooter said mean things about Israel. Remember when there
Like, we're like,
hey, is he an ally now?
yeah, we're like, yeah, that was like, okay, that was a good one. I mean, this is like a broken clock.
Whoa,
type of thing.
I'm just like, because I wasn't listening until that moment. Yeah, man, what a new strange ally. But like, it occurs to me, this is probably a man with layers. He has depth. What do we really know about him, though?
Apparently, he is worse than what we thought about him.
Oh,
So I thought he was like some far right, guy who worked under the Trump administration, and hey, maybe he's anti-imperialist or something. Mm-hmm. And then I read an article about him that did a whole takedown. It's not even a new article. It's from 2021.
wait, is that when the Atlantic article was from?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
The Atlantic article is from 2021. Nothing new about this guy. The only new thing about him. So what's new about him is after working for Trump, he went and started a online dating app. He got money from, shocker, Peter Thiel, to start Date Right stuff, where it's a right-wing dating app. And
which is running into problems because it only has unattractive men on it and no women.
Not enough women are signing up because, shocker, they don't feel safe. Even conservative women are like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I kind of want someone that's like medium fascist, maybe sort of financially fascist, not like full on.
Like, have to quit your job and start bearing children.
Yeah, not trad wife fascist.
Not Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, like even fascist women were like, can we dial this back a bit?
Yeah, so Jonathan Karl of The Atlantic did this takedown of him back in November of 2021. And man, look it up. It's behind a paywall, but if you are subscribed or if you find it when you're around it, it's definitely worth reading because as bad as you think it is worse.
Let's just do a quick recap.
So he was hired as basically the body man to Trump. If you ever watched West Wing, it's basically what Charlie did, where you hang out, like you open doors, you manage visitors. And he really made the most of his time there.
Well, no, but his claim to fame is that he supported Trump in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
So he was early. So that when we go to MAGA rallies, everyone's big flex is I supported him when he came down the escalator.
Yeah.
So he, to his credit, I don't know whose credit, but he supported him like day one, right? Mm-hmm. And then he comes into the administration, and he gets fired because his background check came back, and it was like fraud.
Yeah, he was being criminally investigated for financial fraud, which in the Trump White House is also a mark of honor. It's like, hey, you supported me in 2015. That's pretty good. You're being investigated by the SEC? Hey, get over here, friend.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. And you would think that would be the end of it, but no, he was actually hired in a position that doesn't require a background check as a senior advisor.
Yes.
And in this position, he was able to hire a bunch of people who were strong Trump loyalists.
He would hire young conservative influencers, which, okay, you hired a young conservative influencer, but then these influencers are yelling at the heads of Homeland Security for not being Trump loyalists. Like a 25-year-old influencer who knows nothing is screaming at the Homeland Security because militaries aren't allowed to wave the Confederate flag.
Yeah, there was controversy because one person in Department of Homeland Security liked a Taylor Swift Instagram post.
Yes.
And they wanted that person fired. They, in fact, had a list of people that they wanted fired because John McEntee is basically, if you think in Soviet Russia, where you have the party purists who go around and it's like, who was like, comrade, where is your loyalty to our,
Oh no,
to our leader.
the Stasi in East Germany. Yeah.
Right. And like his job is to get people to march the Trump line, make sure that only loyalists are in position of power.
Yes.
His hires took that mission and ran with it. Going into Homeland Security.
Yeah,
sending Instagram models to the Attorney General to shake him down about his investigation of people that weren't Democrats. We forget that in Trump's first presidency, there was a lot of people that were the deep state, i.e. politicians and military personnel who had just been in the system and were responsible.
These were Nazis.
These were far right, but no, these were like George W. Bush conservatives, people that like would profit off of the White House and have conservative viewpoints, but like liked the country, like we're just like, I signed, I pledged an oath
and
to this country.
They weren't Nazi enough.
Yeah,
they weren't Nazi enough for Trump.
No, and as a matter of fact, you should not call those people Nazis because it hides the literal Nazis.
Okay,
this is if everyone's a Nazi, then no, it's a Nazi
so
thing.
The fact that these people weren't far right enough means so if you're looking at these people and saying, oh, they're not far right enough for you, that means you're a Nazi.
Yes, essentially. But the problem wasn't that they weren't far right enough, is were they loyal? Would they do anything that Trump said? And a lot of them were like, oh, I don't know. For instance, when Trump saw Black Lives Matter protests and wanted to send in tanks and execute them, there were people in the Department of Justice and the Interior that were like, I don't think that's legal.
Like, I don't think it's legal.
And Trump would just throw things in a rage when they would stop him. And so Johnny Boy here, and his team would try to root those people out and get them replaced with people who are more of Trump loyalists.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that. I think we forget how close we were to a fascist takeover in Trump's first term, if not for these people that were Bush appointees. Like, not progressive people.
Yeah.
People.
They wanted everything Trump did want. They wanted to build the wall.
Absolutely.
Separating families at the border.
Get rid of the Department of Education.
Intentionally separating families.
Yes.
Like, that's the
punitively
point.
To send a message.
And figuring out how to do it legally.
Yeah.
And all this nasty stuff.
But these
Muslim ban.
But these are McConnell guys, right? These are Bush guys. These are people that understand that we want a strong America, right? We don't want to sacrifice the underpinnings of our foundation unless we can profit sufficiently from it. We're not just going to do willy-nilly fascism. But captain of the willy-nilly fascism brigade now has this 29-year-old out there just threatening people and causing chaos in the Pentagon on his behalf.
Oh, yeah, no, they fired one guy. Oh, no, one guy, the administration, people in administration said, all right, you got to fire this guy. He's an absolute lunatic. He's running through the halls yelling at everyone. He's a young kid. Mm-hmm. And yelling at everyone for not being a Trump loyalist. Like
people in Department of Homeland Security feared for their lives. And when the Atlantic asked the guy about it, his response was like, "What? That's preposterous. Why would they be afraid of their lives if they were loyal to Trump?" Yeah. And if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, I don't know what to tell you.
Then that guy, instead of being fired, they put him in the Pentagon.
Yeah, they promoted him. Right. They moved him from DHS to being the official White House liaison to the Pentagon so he could just do that more and achieve the Trump goals of getting us out of Africa, out of Germany, out of Russia's way, and out of Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria.
Which, it's so funny. Like, at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, there's a lot of countries we shouldn't be in. But theirs were much different reasons.
Yes.
It was like, well, Putin wants that, so it's good for us. So
right, like NATO isn't paying us to be there, so we don't have a strategic interest in being there.
Yeah, this wasn't some decolonial critique of NATO.
Yeah, this is someone said something kind of spicy about Trump at a state dinner, and now, we want to bomb him.
Yeah, basically.
Right? God, we came so close. Now, since Trump's first term, Jack has been focusing on his dating app.
Yes.
Which, got the Peter Thiel funding and no users.
The Thiel bucks, yeah.
Yeah, and is losing money. And he's been making a TikTok name for himself. I'm just glad that he doesn't have any real influence anymore, right?
Well, Max, this is going to go into the next segment of our show, which is things are more awful than you thought they were He's also one of the senior advisors to Project 2025.
So Project 2025, if you haven't heard of it, is the Heritage Foundation, the conservative think tank that creates a lot of conservative policy, came together and there's like, hey, we didn't have a platform at all in 2020. So what if we wrote something down?
Yeah.
And
now, for the people that have heard of it, yeah, you've heard of it. It's worse than what you heard.
Yeah, it is a 920-page document that is basically just bullet points of their wish list, their letter to Santa, everything they want. And every single page of it is awful.
Okay, I have an idea. Let's do like a swipe roulette, but for the 2025 document.
Okay.
So you just swipe.
So I'll just scroll
let
through it.
Let it scroll and roll.
So this is like
I'll
the
tell you
Price
when
is
to
White.
stop.
The
Price is White. That is a best.
That's good.
That you are not wrong.
This
That
is the Price is White.
That was a Freudian not slip. Okay. Big money, and stop.
Okay. Slowing down. Footnotes. The next footnotes. Information harvesting. Okay. Every year, more than 300,000 communist Chinese nationalists attend U.S. universities or are hired at U.S. national laboratories. To put this in perspective, only 20,000 American nationals were studying abroad in China. So
Too many
the Chinese Exclusion Act. So essentially, this is a section that's about limiting. So this is, I had to scroll up for the title of this section, which is to challenge Communist China's economic aggression and quest for world domination by limiting the amount of student visas we give to Chinese people and limiting immigration from China specifically.
Because too many
Chinese people are going to labs and universities.
To our universities to learn things.
And also working in our labs.
Yeah. So Chinese people...
It's the Chinese Exclusion Act, again.
Yeah. So, that is literally the Chinese Exclusion Act. What page is that?
It was like 830. I missed. I already swiped.
Okay, cool.
All right, ready to go again?
Okay, so next time, big money.
Let me go a while.
Okay.
So I can
swipe.
swipe.
Your swipe. Oh.
I'm in the 700s.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. Ban the use of abortion pills. Abortion pills pose the single greatest threat to unborn children in a post-Roe world. The abortion pill regimen is typically two-part. The first pill mifepristone, causes the death of an unborn product. Second, blah, 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 blah.
What page are we on?
I'm on page 457. It's 490 of the of the PDF, 457 of the document. There's like a big forward that they don't count in the pages.
Got it.
Reverse its approval of chemical abortion bills because the politicized approval process was illegal from the start. Well, so much for the clean language. Get rid of mail order abortions.
Mail order, like ordering a mifepristone.
Yeah. Address weaknesses in the FDA reporting system in order to punish manufacturers of the abortion pill, and implement a policy of transparency about inspections of the abortion pill sponsors. So not only do they want to ban the abortion pill, they want to investigate the manufacturers of the pills punitively.
Yeah. So this sounds like they want to hold hours on hours of congressional hearings, where they drag in, the makers of mifepristone and, Hawley and the like, and, they nail them. Yep.
This section also would tell the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, to conduct bioethics reform, banning the use of stem cells. And examine the NIH for conflicts of interest. A lot of investigating of people that are involved in the process.
Yeah.
Going to page 304, which is my next stop on the roulette.
Yeah.
Reform the national NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation Service.
Okay.
Reform There are wetlands and erodible land compliance and appeals. Problematic overreach could be avoided entirely by removing the authority to protect our wetlands. Why do conservatives hate wetlands, by the way? I feel like they're constantly going after them, where they're so important for filtering our groundwater and preventing erosion and like 1,000 other things. It's also an important biome for biodiversity.
Biodiversity, ecosystem. Yeah, there's a lot. Wetlands are like a good thing.
Yes, like if you want potable water, you want wetlands, essentially. And Republicans are like, or we can drain them and build a mall.
Yeah.
Which is legitimately what this is.
Like, why are these not condos? Why are we not drilling there?
Get rid of the USDA meat inspections, also on this page.
Let the states decide what the meat inspections should look like. Because, the meat that you eat never travels outside of that state.
Yeah, and remember when
Makes
they took
so
back
much sense.
all the inspections on lettuce and like literally 3 weeks later, a bunch of people died from eating romaine? This was in 2018 or something like that, where they're like, why are we inspecting all this lettuce? It's fine. And then literally there was like an E. coli or a salmonella outbreak.
Yeah.
And there was billions of dollars in recalls and like health emergencies across states because of it. This is why you want basic regulations. Repeal the federal labeling mandate. So you shouldn't require people to label their food. They also want to eliminate the Forestry Service.
And this
because they want to increase timber sales.
Timber sales.
In 2018, President Donald Trump issued Executive Order 13855 to, among other things, promote active management of forests and reduce wildfire risks by logging.
Wait, reducing wildfire risk by logging?
We are not clear-cutting enough of America's national parks.
Yeah, there's too many trees. And that's why wildfires. And so this is what happens when you don't listen to scientists.
They're like, global warming is a thing. And they're like, no, too many trees. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're like, well, that's only an issue because it's drying out because global warming. They're like, not a thing.
Yeah.
Next. And you could do this basically anywhere.
Yeah. Every page is awful. Just go to a random page and you'll find something terrible.
Yeah. And we did this on our way down to New Jersey over the weekend, and we found provisions on expanding the number of nuclear warheads we have and getting out of...
It was anti-counterproliferation.
Yeah. Anti-counterproliferation.
They were pro-proliferation.
Well, Mad Max is back in theaters, and they want to get us there as fast as possible.
That is an insane take. I don't care what party you're in, what you believe in. That's insane.
More nukes.
Yeah.
They also want to give people back the right to snipe bears and wolves from helicopters. That gets its own half page in this thing. It's insane. They want to execute everyone on death row immediately before their appeals are done.
Yeah.
And also expand the number of people on death row because, it's not a deterrent if they don't know for certain that we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
If we suspect.
The right to life party.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a lot in here. And so between now and the election, we're going to come back to this every week with a new page from Project 2025 and let you know what we find.
We might even go to a Trump rally, set up a booth, and read Project 2025 to MAGA and see what they feel.
We might even get one of the 40 or 50 authors from Project 2025 to come on the show so they can help explain why we need more warheads.
If anyone can help with that's listening,
we'll take anyone.
Yeah. Any of the authors.
They'll get to explain why they want to shoot wolves and drain our wetlands. And
why we need more nukes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Anyways, and so this is the stuff that they're telling us that they are going to do.
This is explicit.
Yes. And if that wasn't scary enough, wait till you hear what we found in Wildwood, New Jersey. We'll come back to that after the break.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
Ads.
So welcome back to We Are Not Journalists.
I'm Maximilian Clark.
I'm still Walter Masterson.
And over the weekend, we took a fun little field trip down to Atlantic City, baby.
Well, past it, Wildwood, New Jersey.
Yeah, which is one of those rare beach towns that's conservative. I'm used to like the hippy dippy beach town that's all like pride flags and knickknacks.
Yeah.
This was all strip clubs. There were so many strip clubs right there. Strip clubs, gambling, and hot dogs. Welcome to Red America.
There we go.
And we went to Trump's rally there in front of a record-breaking crowd. 3.2 billion people, according to Roger Stone.
And by 3.2 billion, we mean like a few thousand.
I think there was like probably 30, 40,000.
No. The event capacity is 20K, and it didn't. You didn't fill up.
Wait,
it wasn't full.
I mean, the field we were in was pretty empty, but I assume that like on the stage, that was like
the whole capacity. 20K is capacity. You can't put more than 20K people there. Like that's capacity for any event you hold.
I'm
there.
pretty sure that Roger Stone, while posting a picture of like the Rio Olympics, said that there was
for if this were the Rio Olympics in Wildwood, New Jersey, it would be like just millions of people.
It would. I believe they showed a picture from a Bon Jovi concert, and they were like, "This is what it was like."
Yes, exactly.
At the Trump rally, and I mean, honestly, there had to be a lot of people there because people were leaving for a solid like 40 minutes. The second he started speaking, just a tsunami of people headed for the exit.
We noticed that. So first off, you said, "Oh, I want to stay for the speech."
Yeah, which we hadn't done in a while.
Yeah, I've heard him speak too many times. I was like, I know this. I know his speech. He hits all the and you're like, I want to stay for it. And I'm like, why? And you said, well, it's becoming way more unhinged, which is saying a lot.
Like to notice that?
Yeah, just for Trump's speeches to becoming more unhinged and insane is saying a great deal. So I said, you know what? You are absolutely right. So we stayed, we watched.
We watched like the first half of it. Yeah. You can't say fat anymore. Trump ate a hot dog and it was great. He doesn't like Chris Christie. He wants to execute all of his political rivals. He really likes his time in New Jersey. Palestinians are all terrorists and he wants to blow them up. He is treated unfairly. Stock market's good because of him. Normal stuff.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
You can't call Chris Christie fat anymore, even though look at the
political rivals.
Oh, yeah, he wants to. He also mentioned the word Palestine, and everyone erupted in cheers of terrorists, 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 and he promised that they won't be an issue under his leadership. So, don't vote Biden.
Yeah.
Oof. And there was a lot of like extremely problematic stuff.
Yeah.
On kind of a problematic day, but we should start at the beginning. So at the start of the day, we got to the beach. It's just a boardwalk with, an amusement park. And we went down onto the sand. And the first people right there were three guys who were dressed like Patriot Front.
They looked Patriot Front-ish.
They had the white ski masks, the white supremacist tattoos. But when we asked them about it, they're like, oh, we're not Patriot Front.
But like, but what,
But if we were, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, like they're like, well, what do you feel about those?
It's like very it was very middle school-esque. Like they just like, they were like, Patriot Front? No. But they passed us a note that's like, do you like Patriot Front? Check one. Yes, no, maybe. And they were there passing out literature against condemning Israel, which was, I gotta say, unexpected. They're anti-Zionists.
Oh, but they're not pro-Palestine.
No.
Okay. They're anti-Zionists, but they're not pro-Palestine. So
yes.
We don't need to talk to them.
Well, we don't need to platform them.
We don't need to platform them.
Yeah, because it's important that, there's a wave. I don't know if you know this. There's a wave of anti-Semitism that's sweeping across the country, but I don't know why it's not these guys.
This is actual bold-faced, yeah.
Yeah.
No, these people, they're not supporting campus protests.
Yes.
Okay.
No, they are calling it Antifa.
Yeah, Antifa. Okay.
Yeah.
You and I looked at it, and immediately we looked at this. And we're like, yeah, if there's a Palestinian version of the cookout, these people are not invited.
Yeah, because they are not pro-Gaza. They are anti-Zionist in the traditional way, the hard Z way.
Yeah.
The problem with Israel is the Jews.
Yeah.
And this frustrates me because I feel like the ADL is so busy busting heads at college campuses for people being like, don't kill children.
ADL, what, the Apartheid Defense League?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They're so busy busting up college protests that they they're creating cover for these guys. These are the guys. This is the rise of anti-Semitism in the country. It's not happening on fucking Columbia's grounds. It's these guys saying the Jewish state must end and be replaced with white Christians.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want Israel. They don't want Palestine. They want to clear, like, they want to carpet bomb the whole thing, nuke it, wait for it to settle, and then build Christian houses on the Holy Land.
Yeah. And so here we go. I go up to them, and I knew the answer to the question was like, hey, you guys support Palestine? So, yeah, I went up to them, and I asked them the question, and I already knew the answer. Are you guys pro-Palestine?
I don't think the correct position is neither side.
But wait,
I'm pro-American.
But I thought you were so it's anti-Zionist, but you're not pro-Palestine?
No, he's trying to get you to think that he's going to cut up.
Yeah, he's saying it's a Zionist trick? He said that's a Zionist trick. That's funny.
I want you to pay attention to the way that they use Zionist. It's a Zionist. They are using that as a stand-in for Jewish.
We like to call them genocide deniers or
Right.
apartheid enthusiasts.
Right, exactly. Just so you don't share language with the actual anti-Semites out there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's appropriate to use the word Zionist when you're trying to describe something.
Right, clinically, but like to just throw it out there, like, and to use it.
The way they were using it is a perfect example.
Yeah, you don't want it to come out like a slur because.
Yeah, they swore they weren't Patriot Front, but.
The white mask.
Yeah. They were like, oh yeah, we're not Patriot Front.
Is the brand of Patriot Front so bad that those outed anti-Semite Nazis are like, Patriot Front? No, of course not. Who told you that?
Yeah.
That would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was interesting too because we're in New Jersey, right, where there are Jewish conservatives who came to the rally, and one guy came up after seeing them and was like, "Can you believe these guys?" And we're just like, "Yeah."
We're like, yes, we can believe
that
them.
they're here.
We've been listening to anti-Semitic dog whistles for the past several years,
and it's like he's been coming to Trump rallies, and because people have said Soros and globalists, he never noticed.
God, we tried
to explain it to him.
We tried. We were like, this
is an anti-Zionist thing, and they think all Jews are bad.
They're anti-Zion. They're not pro-Palestine. They're just anti-Jewish.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Here, you can hear me talking to him about it.
They think Jews control everything.
Yeah, those are the people that I think we should collectively be going after, because I feel like a lot of.
But I want to talk to them and be like, I'm Jewish, and I ain't part of it. I don't go to any secret meetings. I'm not like.
Here's the thing: is there's a lot of people, we've been giving them cover. They say things like Soros, global elites, and stuff like that, and we don't. But they say, I love Israel. We love Israel, and we sort of give them cover, and we don't really push back on them when they talk about Soros.
Well, Soros is a bad guy, but he's not bad because he's Jewish. He's bad
because he's a billionaire.
He's bad because he supports activists who riot, and they give him money to.
When people say Soros, man, they're
obsessed with him.
They mean Jew. You know what?
I guess.
That's just another way of saying Jew.
That's necessarily true.
The global elite's a bunch of Jews in a room.
And he doesn't like Soros either, and he's a Republican. I don't like Soros.
Yeah, and I said, no, like, if you don't like Soros, don't like him because he's a billionaire. We tried
But he's not the only liberal billionaire. He's just the only Jewish one.
Yeah, we tried to explain that is a dog whistle for Jew. You getting supported by Moms for Liberty for your school board?
I want to get involved with them as well. Yes.
Yeah. Like some of them have said some like weird anti-Jewish stuff too.
Yeah, I mean they were like.
Yeah, well, I'll call that out.
Yeah, they were the ones. They were doing like the whole Hitler thing. They're doing the Hitler quote and then cheered.
And it's tough because like dog whistles are incredibly have been incredibly important to the growth of racism in the Republican Party. And as the GOP starts to move away from that, I'm wondering if we're going to get more of this guy. Not that dog whistles are totally out of fashion, because as soon as the Pledge of Allegiance was done at the start of the event, our very first speaker was this guy, Mike Crispy.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, this is a politician from Weehawken, New Jersey, northern New Jersey.
He was so far right, he lost his Republican primary.
Yeah, he's an America First candidate.
I think we can say this is the biggest crowd in New Jersey political history.
See? 3.2 billion people. 30
And
trillion
ladies
people.
and gentlemen, my group, the America First Republicans of New Jersey, we have devised a grassroots volunteer organization to ensure that we overwhelm the fraud, and we ask every single one of you to become part of it. It is called Project 14.
Wait, so 14.
14. That's an interesting number for the project, for an America First candidate. Project 14. That mean anything to you?
I mean, what should it mean?
Because it means something to white supremacists. 14 is a white supremacist dog whistle, referring to the 14 words, which is kind of their slogan. We must work to ensure a future for the people and white children. It's basically
It's
dreaming.
14 words.
Yeah.
I thought it was 88.
No, 88 is its sister number. It is H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So 88 is HH, which stands for Heil the guy.
Hail Hydra.
Numerology is basically astrology for bigots. They get really keyed into like letters and numbers.
So, but it normally doesn't that go together though? 1488.
Yeah, typically when you have a white supremacist, they'll have 14 and then 88 tattooed across their
He's
knuckles.
just saying 14.
Right. It could be a coincidence. I think he's saying it because New Jersey has 14 electoral votes. And so you're right. Maybe I'm being a little too sensitive with the bell ringing here. It says 14 is just such a weird number to hear from an America First person. It's questionable.
It's not until he says 1488.
Right. If he said both, it'd be one thing, but he's just saying 14. So, okay.
So here's what we do with Project 14. We got 14 electoral votes in New Jersey. 14. I need each and every one of you to sign up and commit to getting 14 low propensity voters to vote anyway. I'm talking harvesting, voting early, vote by mail, and show up.
Just in there, I think it's funny that Republicans have had to reverse course so hard because they told everyone, don't vote early, don't mail in your ballots.
Yeah.
And so Republicans didn't, which is part of why Trump lost in 2020.
There were certain districts that went blue by like a very small, like the slimmest amount. And these were people in that like the red Republicans did not have any mail in.
Yeah.
And it was just a disaster because they had their whole, we were at the campaigns where they said vote in person.
Right. And only in person. No. And so like, you know,
We were like,
people just
sure.
didn't vote.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's funny that they've gone hard the other direction. But ballot harvesting, though, is illegal. He's encouraging people to commit election fraud.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, wait, ballot harvest. He's like, if they're going to harvest ballots, they're going to cheat, so are we.
Right. Because we made up the fact that they cheated. We're going to cheat for real. He said that into a microphone on television, by the way. Mike Crispy, if you work for the federal government, he just advocated for a felony? No?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
It's the least we could do for the greatest president of our lifetime who has given us so much. We are turning New Jersey red for the first time since 1988.
Whoa!
There it is.
He did it.
He found a way. He got it in.
He was like 14. He's like, all right, wait, how do I do it?
First
He's like,
time since
1988.
88.
88. Yes, I did it. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's going to be a
He figured it
official
out.
dog whistle from me. And, you know, far be it from me to say that a member of America First, a nationalist, a Christian nationalist,
Yeah, I mean,
far right political movement
does not know what 1488 means.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the only way he wouldn't know that, and then I couldn't think of any situation where he wouldn't have heard that.
Especially in his circle.
In his circle, yeah.
Like there's no way he wouldn't know what that means.
Right. So he does know what that means, and he said that, and that made me feel a little weird because that happened right after the Patriot Front guys. Like those guys left, and then like just over the loudspeakers, hearing like Project 14 from 1988, which is on their literature for it. By the way, we looked into Project 14. It basically doesn't exist. It is one flyer.
There are Project 14s.
Yes, but
nothing associated with him at all.
I think this is the first time that they've launched it. He made a flyer for it, but it was a flyer for this day.
Yes.
For the launch party, and like they don't have a working website. Yeah, but you know, and this is what I think conservatives do a lot is if they can't say the racist thing, they will speak on a dais with a racist person. You've seen this a lot.
Oh yeah, no. During the midterm elections and stuff, there's like someone that extreme that would come up. Like Zeldin did this. Well, he was running against Kathy Hochul. He would,
for the governor of New York.
Yeah, so he would share a stage with someone that would just spout absolute nonsense. People that were like anti-vax, spouting. They didn't believe in germ theory.
Right.
And then he would take the stage. You know, their audience is primed, and he would just be very straightforward, right middle of the road. He would sound.
We're going to protect America. Like nothing controversial.
You couldn't pull a soundbite from him.
But everyone before it, and he has the association, right? And you'd think like, oh, well, so that's what Trump's doing, right? He's going to let problematic people speak for him. And when he goes in, he's just going to be like, I love this country. We're going to bring people together. It's going to be great.
One would think.
Think of it. Venezuela just announced they're down in crime because they took their gangs, their gang members, they took a lot of their criminals and they moved them into the United States of America. Jail populations all over the world are way down, and these fools back there, the press, the fake news, they don't want to report it. You know why they're down? Because they're sending people in their jails into the United States, because they're taking people from insane asylums and from mental institution. You know what the difference is, right? An insane asylum is a mental institution on steroids.
I don't think none of that is true. Obviously, none of that is true.
Yeah.
But also that last part is especially not true. Like, where did he get that distinction between mental institutions and insane asylums? One's just like a less PC.
It would have been pretty funny if he like mentioned Arkham Asylum. He's like, okay, you're all familiar with Arkham Asylum, you know, and then so if you shatter the chattering teeth, you get, you know what?
Yeah, there's a Riddler trophy.
Yeah.
under the thing. Like, what do you think the chain of custody is like? Like in these guys' minds, like they open the door to the prison and it's like walk across Mexico. They just like give them a backpack.
I mean, I feel like these people they can say whatever they want about immigrants and
just
what's happening.
Logically, they're just letting them out and say go to America, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, like you go across their border. Fine.
Like walk 4,000 miles, and then crawl under some barbed wire to commit crimes in America.
Yeah, make sure you commit crimes when you get there.
Don't
try to better your life and send remittance payments every 2 weeks from the job you get.
Can I just stay here? That sounds like a lot of walking.
Out!
I'm getting reformed.
Out!
No, right? And that isn't even the most insane part of this paragraph of his speech. I just wanted to cut in because he had just been spewing misinformation for too long.
I know his segue is great.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. Has anyone ever seen the Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me, I'm about to have a friend for dinner as this poor doctor walked by. I'm about to have a friend for dinner, but Hannibal Lecter, congratulations, the late, great Hannibal Lecter. We have people that are being released into our country that we don't want in our country. And they're coming in totally unchecked, totally unvetted.
Wait, I'm sorry. Everyone was just laughing along like that made sense?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did he bring up Hannibal Lecter?
The late great.
Also,
Hannibal Lecter.
Anthony Hopkins is alive.
No,
Anthony Hopkins, who played Hannibal Lecter, is alive.
Well, he also here.
Mads Mikkelsen is also alive.
Yeah, maybe it was like Anthony Hopkins, but he's like, the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Wonderful guy. But like because he was also in a mental institution, that's the connection.
He watched it and thought he was watching a documentary.
But everyone there is just like, this segue is hilarious.
Yeah,
good job, President Trump.
And Hannibal Lecter, he's not alive anymore. We saw him die in the sequel.
Yeah, but then he came back.
And then he came back.
Yeah. Is Hannibal Lecter
He came back for the TV
dead?
series.
Yeah. Oh, the TV series is a prequel. Listen, we can't get in the lore of Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
What is going on inside the heads of these people that they're like, got him.
Perfect sense. Yes, Hannibal Lecter.
Right, and so talking about migrants all being criminals, that's bad.
Yes.
Talking about Hannibal Lecter is maddening. But like in terms of just things that give you the ick about it, I think this is the worst. And this is something he's been doing a while.
Yes.
So this is having to do with our border. An old great song. I had to change it a little bit to make it pertinent, but it is very pertinent and very true. and it's called The Snake, and it talks about illegal immigration and how stupid it is what we're doing right now. We're letting people come into our country that will only be trouble.
I love that he has to walk his stupid audience through the entire metaphor. He's like, okay,
before he starts, it's
like so this is a metaphor. I don't have time to get into metaphor, simile, analogy, and
it's about illegal immigrants.
The snake, that the snake is the immigrant. You're okay. You know what? I wrote it down. Let me just read it here.
And it's worth noting that this song is "The Snake" by Al Wilson, who's a civil rights activist from the '60s, and it did not refer to immigrants at the time. As a matter of fact, the children of Al Wilson have posted a cease and desist to Trump to stop him from using it at his rallies, which Trump has ignored.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's why I feel like they stopped using dog whistles, because they're realizing their audience is too stupid to get it.
And honestly, that's not wrong. There are so many
they're like black people. We're talking about black people.
Meanwhile, the black Trump supporters are like, no, we're talking about crime in urban streets and how urban people with their hip hop and wait a second.
Yeah.
Right. And it's we talk about this a lot. It's not that minorities for Trump are voting against their own interest. Everyone is voting against their own interests when they are supporting President Trump.
Yeah.
If Project 2025 doesn't scare you enough, it will the more we go into it. Trust me, there's something in there to scare everyone.
Yes.
And just the whole rally is just weird and uncomfortable. The in-between music is all Village People and Freddie Mercury and then they go out, to calling people groomers. Okay.
Yeah, so
this stuff is horrific.
Yeah, Joe Biden would be crushing it in the polls right now if it wasn't for the genocide happening in Palestine.
And the response on our college campuses.
Yeah, the response to the college campuses has been horrific.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything worse.
Yeah, I wonder what Trump said he would do.
He's surrendering our college campuses to anarchists, jihadists, freaks, and anti-American extremists who are trying to tear down our American flag. They want to tear it down. Every single place they go, they want to rip down our flag. The chaos and violence happening on our college campuses right now is all because crooked Joe Biden doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Sorry, just in case you didn't hear it, a guy in the crowd of the college protesters just said, "Kill them."
Kill them, yeah.
And everyone's like,
yeah, totally on board, yeah.
Just a little temperature check of what's going on.
If you watched the police response to the campus protests and you were like, oh, this isn't enough, you are a Nazi.
I always talk about we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies from within. The enemies from within are more dangerous to me than the enemies on the outside. Russia and China, we can handle. But these lunatics within our government that are going to destroy our country and probably want to, we have to get it stopped. And by the way, they're not on the right, they're on the left. They're not on the right, they're on the left. It's time for a president who will once again show unyielding strength. We have to have peace through strength.
Keep in mind that during Black Lives Matter, the only reason tanks weren't sent in to legitimately create a Gaza-like environment for the protesters in Manhattan was because everyone in the Department of Defense got him to stop.
Yeah, they were like
responsible adults.
Yeah, we cannot shoot mortar rounds at them. We can only do rubber bullets.
Yeah, and Trump was furious that they tried to restrain him.
Yeah.
And he goes on.
The very same people who are funding the violent campus uprisings are also funding Joe Biden's campaign. Do you believe this?
The one funding the protesters to say everyone stay home in the next election, show up to the primaries, vote undecided in the Democratic primaries. Yes, that's Joe Biden.
That's your takeaway? We need peace through strength?
Yeah, peace through strength. Yeah, we need peace through strength.
He wants a military occupation of Colombia.
Yeah.
Not the country. The campus.
Well, and the country. Just
no foreign wars.
When I'm president, we will not allow our colleges to be taken over by violent radicals. And if you come here from another country and try to bring jihadism or anti-Americanism or anti-Semitism to our campuses, we will immediately deport you. You'll be out of that school.
He's accusing these protests of being fake in order, like these, in his mind, to his audience, he's telling them that everyone on the left is being paid to undermine and destroy this country, and he has to respond with force.
Yes.
Because the greatest enemies aren't without, they're within.
Yes.
And if you're a progressive and you're on the fence right now, keep in mind, it can always get worse.
I think, honestly, I really... my friend, our friends that are very disillusioned by everything happening right now, they don't spend enough time, thankfully, in MAGA spaces to see. They spend it, thankfully, it's like, and they don't. So they're like, I can't imagine this being worse under Trump. And you and I have traveled the country and spent a lot of time here and going, no, it gets way worse. Yeah. This is insane, and also it gets worse.
I mean, because I'll say stuff and people will be like, oh, so you're a Biden supporter? On the left will be like, oh, you're a Biden supporter? And I'm like, dude, you have no idea how important it is to keep Trump out of the... Like, if you want the people of Gaza to survive the next 5 years, like, you do not want the people that are advocating the carpet bombing.
You do not want the
Gaza.
person that Netanyahu wants. Netanyahu wants Trump.
Yeah, and this isn't a Joe Biden campaign ad.
For the record, if Biden was in the room right now, I would be foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, and I think you should be. Like, don't confuse it.
Yeah.
Be angry at Joe Biden. Continue giving him shit for the next 5 years, right? Yeah. And he'll listen to you, kinda. He'll make slow progress, right? And you know what he won't do? He won't have you executed.
Yeah, this is bad.
Because it's really worse than you think.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the genocide, I think people aren't listening. They're not listening to what Trump's saying.
No, like they're thinking like Joe Biden is complicit in the genocide, so we must punish him. But if you allow Trump into the office, you're punishing the people of Gaza.
I mean, look like Netanyahu's first election.
Yeah,
he was running against an incumbent who had just bombed a refugee camp, killing 100 civilians. The Arab-Israeli electorate stayed home for that election. Netanyahu won by 0.5%.
And man, hasn't that been great for the Arab community?
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, this is someone you're like, I'm Shimon Peres.
No, wait, hang on. I sort of feel that like there's progressives out there that are like, these centrist motherfuckers are trying to trick me into voting for Joe Biden. Legitimately, just trust your ears. He's telling you, Project 2025 is telling you that they are going to violently react to any progressive protest. So that's what's cooking. Like, it's been a while since we went in on what the Republican platform is nowadays. This is their guy. These are their policies. And voters, it's up to you.
Yeah, there's no dog whistles. No dog whistles allowed. Kristi Noem shot all the dogs.
Yes. So next week, we're going to go into our footage from the Trump rally and get to have some fun.
It gets so much worse. Trust me. Yeah. But a lot funnier.
But yeah, it's going to be funnier. It's going to be
it's worse, but also more entertaining.
Yes, it's going to be a lot easier on the ears. Thanks for bearing with us. I do have some questions about expanding nuclear proliferation, though, and I wonder if the Heritage Foundation...
You call your local representative and see if they, have anything to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for calling the Central Texas office of U.S. Senator Ted Cruz. We are currently unavailable at this time. Please leave a brief message with your name, phone number, email address, and zip code. Thank you.
Yay, Ted. So I was just, I was thinking the other day, we don't have enough nuclear warheads.
Yeah, we were reading Project 2025, and we just saw that, like, hey, we need to increase the amount of intercontinental ballistic missiles, expand our nuclear programs, get rid of this non-proliferation things. Nukes for everyone. That's what I say. Because, the world is so bad under your leadership that I kind of want to die in a fire. And I feel like this is going to be the fastest way to do it.
That's a great point. Yeah.
So thanks for backing these absolute psychotics. And I'll see you in a Mad Max style dystopia where we're all riding around on motorcycles, killing each other for gas. Go f*** yourself. Thank you. So, it's just like that. You read Project 2025, you bring it to your elected officials, make your voice heard. From all of us at We Are Not Journalists, I'm Maximilian Clark.
I'm Walter Masterson.
And have a great day.